So, what I would love to hear from you is as you started to find that hope, you mentioned something earlier about vulnerability and vulnerability
hmm
playing a huge role in your recovery. Walk us through how did that actually play out?
Yeah. So it was in the first group that I led, and I've told this story a couple of times, but I would just say, kind of going into my first group, I had handpicked 12 guys from the church who I knew would be committed, who were interested, who had expressed interest in being in the group. Man, like that by itself, the Lord showed up in incredible ways, and that was super helpful for me. Even in my story, I tell this story. There was a guy on staff at Pure Desire that I was trying to text to let him know, hey man, we're starting these groups. I'm really excited. Well, I texted the wrong guy, same name, wrong guy, and he texted me back, and he's like, "Sorry, I think you texted the wrong person." And I'm like, "Oh, my bad, man. I'll let you go. Like, thanks." And within seconds, he texts me back, kind of a snarky, sarcastic, like, well, maybe someday I'll be cool enough for you to tell me what this is. I'm like, all right, bro, you want to know what this is? Here's what's up. We're starting this group, dealing with sexual addiction. Within 3 seconds, he texts me back. He's like, I'm in. It's been a problem for 25 years.
Wow.
And so it's like the Lord's like having me send an accidental text to the wrong person to get this guy into group. So it was crazy. And I would say even in that, even the openness of, hey man, we're starting a group, I think really invites people into that. But for me, that first group that I was in, it was a 6-week group that we were going through a video series, and we'd decided that we're going to do our full disclosure, just share our whole story, each of us individually, one guy a week. And I had this one part of my story that I was taking to my grave. No one else was going to know about it. And it was just like me and God and maybe one other person. I had a same sex experience with a guy when I was in that like 10, 11, 12, the exposure, shame, all of that. And to me, I hadn't told anybody about that. And I remember sitting in that meeting room, holding the piece of paper, reading my story, and I just started shaking because it's like I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
nervous. I'm so afraid of rejection. And yeah, I mean, the Lord met me in that moment. I continued and told the story. I get to the end of my full disclosure, and two of the guys, one of them turns to me, the other's across the table. They both lean in and they're like, "Me too, man."